Tonight,
remember this, because we're not going to find this again.
Remembering Matthew Perry. We have new details on his shocking death and how he spent his final days.
If you had one more message to Matt, what would it be?
Thanks for being a very good friend.
Plus, we're with his co-stars sharing memories.
His greatest gift was his heart.
And tributes.
The kindness, that is his true legacy.
Why he wanted his battle with addiction to be part of his legacy.
You either lie down about it or step up to bat and take your swing.
Plus, never-before-seen interviews from the set of Friends.
Sorry, we just gotta get through.
Hi, we're here for Entertainment Tonight with television's Courtney Cox and television's David Schwimmer.
And the stories behind his unbreakable bond with the cast.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry now.
It's a very loving, tight-knit group.
E.T. starts now. A comedy light extinguished way too soon. Tonight, E.T. remembers Matthew Perry. Welcome, everyone. Yes, Matthew was everyone's forever friend, but in his passing, we are also seeing how beloved he was as a human being. Kevin Frazier joins us from outside Matthew's LA home, a much different scene than what you saw there on Saturday, Kev.
Yeah, Nichelle, we were here moments after the news broke, and at the time, it was police cars and chaos. Today, a memorial outside Matthew's gate, also in New York, outside the fictional Friends apartment building in Lower Manhattan. Now, the investigation into Matthew's death continues, but for those who loved him, there's an overwhelming outpouring of grief.
I'm always drawn to characters that start off from a somewhat broken place. I think it was just magic was happening. There was just the perfect casting, the perfect writers, and just sort of magic just all happened at once.
Hi, we're here for Entertainment Tonight with television's Courtney Cox and television's David Schwimmer.
And it was funny.
Pivot! 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 Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
It was just funny all the way through, all 237 episodes.
Here's the latest on Matthew's death. Authorities have conducted an autopsy on the actor's body, but the results are inconclusive as they wait for more test results, including toxicology, which could take weeks. Foul play is not suspected. According to one report, no illicit drugs were found at the house, but multiple outlets citing sources say there were various prescription medications recovered, which will be part of the review.
How did you get the courage to fight the addiction to Vicodin?
You get into a place in your life where you're having a problem and you either, lie down about it or step up to bat and take your swing.
Agent 23, Rescue 23, MS9 on the radio. Respond to the drowning.
At around 4 p.m. Saturday, the 54-year-old was discovered unresponsive in a hot tub here at his LA home. Eerily, just a week ago, Matthew posted this pic of himself in a hot tub in what appears to be the same location where he was found. Just around 7:30, Matthew's stepfather, Keith Morrison, arrived with other family members. Keith, a correspondent for Dateline NBC, was seen crossing the police tape and speaking to Matthew's grief-stricken father, John Bennett Perry. The TV journalist became Matthew's stepfather when he was 12 years old.
What's the best perk about being Matthew's stepdad?
He is really a very good guy.
Had a chance to speak to one of Matthew's neighbors. A young man named Theo said right around 4:30 he saw police activity and then an ambulance.
No, they didn't hammer the door, not at all. I was very heartbroken to see what happened.
Matthew was last seen out 9 days ago, grabbing a meal with a friend. His last big public outing was at the French Open 4 months ago. Matthew loved tennis, but it turned his focus to pickleball.
Pickleball, I think, was an outlet for him. It was something that he became obsessed with, and that was his new healthy addiction, and he loved it.
E.T. has learned Matthew was playing pickleball hours before his death. I spoke to his coach, Matt Manassi.
What was Matthew's mindset these last few months?
He was in good spirits every time I talked to him.
Yeah, you have to be in shape to play pickleball. How was Matthew doing physically? It seems like he had turned a corner.
Yeah, he was heading in a great direction, and he was set to become healthy, and he was doing it. His dealings with addictions were very well publicized. He would bring other people to the courts sometimes that were going through similar things and try to use pickleball to help them as well.
If you had one more message to Matt, what would it be?
I miss him. I'd like to talk to him one more time. Yeah.
What would you tell him?
Just thanks for being a very good friend. That's it.
The tributes continue to pour in from Matthew's friends' family.
So handsome.
You look beautiful, Mom.
I've been very touched this morning and yesterday.
I spoke with Morgan Fairchild today. She remembers her TV son as a kind soul who battled through his own addiction to help others.
Did you ever have a chance to discuss that with him?
I didn't discuss it with him because at the time I was on the set when he was going through it. I knew there were problems. I never saw it in his work. And I was so proud of him for how he'd come through some of these hard times and had turned to trying to help other people. I would just say, Matthew, well done, my son. Well done.
Hello!
Matthew's TV girlfriend Maggie Wheeler, who played Janice, shared, "The joy you brought to so many in your too short lifetime will live on." Max added an in memoriam tribute to its reunion episode, and the show's co-creators and former exec producer tell E.T., "This truly is the one where our hearts are broken."
Matthew was the first friend I made in Los Angeles. We were really more like brothers.
Hank Azaria revealed Matthew was instrumental in his own journey to sobriety.
A lot of us who were close to him felt like we lost him to drugs and alcohol a long time ago. He documented it all publicly, but it's heartbreaking.
I know it's going to help people to talk about it.
Only hours after his passing, the Friends theme played at the LA Kings game, where Matthew, an avid hockey fan, was often seen in the stands, and SNL honored their one-time host.
This is kind of a dream come true for me to be hosting the show.
E.T. was on set with the star back in 1997, the same year he completed his first stint in rehab.
I'm doing great, couldn't be better. There's nothing like, just getting to go back to the job that you love doing to just make you happy, so I'm doing great.
I love working from my apartment.
Yeah, it's a treat for us all. So many memories came pouring back about how kind he was.
E.T. also spoke with Matthew's The Odd Couple co-star Yvette Nicole Brown, who shared his private side that few knew.
His greatest gift was his heart. He lightened loads, even in the midst of the heaviness that he was carrying.
I was going to say he lightened loads for everyone but himself.
That's what it feels like. And I think the saddest thing for me, in talking to my castmates and other people that knew him, I don't know that he ever found peace. When we were working with Matthew, we had a front row seat to his struggles, and we loved him, and we wanted to protect him.
Working with you has been one of the greatest joys of my life.
Is that true?
I really adore you.
Sorry. That was Matthew. And that was our relationship. It was really lovely. His hope and joy was helping others to survive what he fought for most of his life.
As for Matthew's Friends role,
the camera adds 10 pounds.
So how many cameras are actually on you?
Chandler was the sarcasm king, but did you know he was only supposed to be a supporting character? Matthew's comedic timing changed all that.
I will not take this abuse.
You're right, I'm sorry.
Once I was a wooden boy, a little boy.
Matthew, the over-under on how many times today you're gonna hear, "Could you be any more excited?" How many times you're gonna hear that?
Could we be more white trash?
Could she be more out of my league?
Could I be more sorry?
I've heard that a lot. But I like hearing that.
E.T. first crashed the iconic set in '94, just a few months after they started filming.
Jennifer Aniston, America? Yeah, I'm pretty much sick of everybody by now. You got the key to the bathroom? You have the key to the bathroom?
17 years later, not much had changed.
Shut up over there! You shut up!
We sat down with the gang in 2021 for their reunion on Max, our final interview with Maddie.
It's a very loving, tight-knit group. And when we see each other, it's a very heartwarming thing.
Should we get some coffee?
Sure. Where?
It was in our DNA that we were family, we were going to take care of each other.
After the show wrapped, this crew remained close. Lisa wrote a heartfelt foreword for Matthew's 2022 memoir, explaining even they weren't privy to all of his addiction struggles. Quote, "He has survived impossible odds, but I had no idea how many times he almost didn't make it."
We weren't equipped. Nobody had ever
dealt with that.
Jen actually played a major role in Matthew's journey to sobriety.
She says, "We know you were drinking."
Yeah, imagine how scary a moment that was. She was the one that reached out the most. You know, I'm really grateful to her for that.
It was only last year that fans began to understand the scope of Matthew's secret struggle, thanks to his tell-all book and his sit-down with Diane Sawyer.
55 Vicodin a day, which is where I was. I would go to open houses and go to the bathrooms in the open house and see what pills they had in there and steal them. And I think they thought, well, there's no way that Chandler came in and stole from us. You can track the trajectory of my addiction if you gauge my weight from season to season. When I'm carrying weight, it's alcohol. When I'm skinny, it's pills. That's a guy that's out of control. I didn't know what was going on with me. I weighed 155 pounds, on my way to 128 pounds.
Matthew spent nearly $9 million trying to get sober, attended 6,000 AA meetings, went to rehab 15 times, survived 14 surgeries, and was even in a coma for 2 weeks during the summer of 2018.
Escaped death really narrowly.
But just how much did Matthew devote his life to helping others?
I invested $500,000 and turned my house in Malibu into a sober living place called Perry House.
Matthew set up meditation programs and a 12-step workshop inside his former Malibu mansion. The star championed others in their recovery, and in 2015, Lisa Kudrow helped honor him for his work.
Very meaningful to me that Lisa agreed to do it. It's a really special relationship.
Matthew really wanted his struggle to be part of his legacy. He was the friend that knew what the darkness was like and shared it so others wouldn't feel so alone.
When I die, I don't want friends to be the first thing that's mentioned. The best thing about me, bar none, is if somebody comes up to me and says, I can't stop drinking, can you help me? I can say yes. I'm gonna live the rest of my life proving that. God is always there for me now. The one thing I got right was that I never gave up. Love always wins.
I'm gonna use the cushion. Yeah.
David Schwimmer came into my dressing room when we were about to renegotiate, and he said, I think we should negotiate together. And I said, great, idiot.
Matthew Perry made many big reveals in his memoir, including a few Hollywood romances. In 1993, just before Friends debuted, he spent the summer with a future Oscar winner.
This was the last summer of my life when I could make out at a party with a beautiful young woman called Gwyneth. We slipped off into a broom cupboard and made out.
Paltrow reminisced in a tribute to Matthew, writing, "It was a magical summer." Nearly 3 years later, he'd date one of the Friends guest stars, Julia Roberts.
Why don't you call me in 20 years and tell me if you're still upset about this?
I was not enough. I could never be enough. I was broken, bent, unlovable. So, instead of facing the inevitable agony of losing her, I broke up with the beautiful and brilliant Julia Roberts.
Another one that got away, getting to star opposite Meryl Streep.
Oh.
Being in Don't Look Up didn't work out because my life was on fire. I got CPR, and the guy who saved my life broke 8 ribs. With the broken ribs, there was no way I could continue. Apparently, on the set, she was like, Matthew? Matt, where are you?
Wow.
She missed me.
Does she now know? Is this how she's learning what happened?
It's a completely made-up story.
His comedic timing was unmatched. All right, there were other roles that came Matthew's way, and of course, E.T. was on set.
Okay, Matthew L. Perry.
So, have you seen the sights?
E.T. first met Matthew in 1988 after landing his first big TV role in the short-lived Fox series, Boys Will Be Boys.
It's about an all-American guy, and it's epic. It's epic.
While that show was canceled after 1 season, that same year, he starred alongside Christina Applegate in the TV movie Dance Till Dawn.
We're losers.
Well, you know, I bought you that ring.
It's a good chance for people to see my work.
Matthew also had minor roles in classic sitcoms like Charles in Charge, Silver Spoons, and Growing Pains.
Well, I go here, sophomore.
By 1990, Matthew was still full of hope and ready for fame after being cast as Valerie Bertinelli's brother in the CBS sitcom Sydney.
Oh, I can see you're doing your
outta
sexy
here.
look. Okay.
My sexy look?
I scream, okay? You happy?
Here's my shot for people to know who I am, I guess.
Of course, that wouldn't come until Friends. That success led Matt to his first big screen role. He was the leading man opposite Salma Hayek in Fools Rush In, and E.T. was on the 1996 set.
Take one, marker.
Seemed like a guy that is a little bit different than the guy I play on Friends. You know, it's nice to actually get the girl. You've seen Salma, have you?
Today, Salma posted she will, quote, continue to cherish your silliness, your perseverance, and your lovely heart. In 2000, Matthew co-starred with Bruce Willis in The Whole Nine Yards.
Frankie told me what a stand-up guy you've been. Now change your pants.
Their friendship led to Bruce's Emmy-winning appearance on Friends, which he only agreed to after losing a bet.
Let's see how this movie turns out. If it does well, you can be on the show, and if it doesn't, it's Bruce Willis to block.
Joey?
Hi, Ross.
After Friends came to an end in 2004, Matthew made his series return in the Aaron Sorkin drama Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
I'm an executive producer, too. I'm just here for this interview. That's how excited I am about this and you and Studio 60.
Then there was the TV comedy Mr. Sunshine, which he created.
Yeah, I guess that's just something I can't do. We're all just trying to put on a really funny show.
While Matthew's Friends never appeared on any of his series, he reunited with his TV wife, Courtney Cox, in 2013, making a cameo on Cougar Town.
I'm just passing through on my way to Miami.
I just have to keep remembering that I don't know him in this show.
She's right. We have to remember that we haven't been married for 5 years.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what acting is.
I'm not gonna miss you helping me out with money. The only thing that I'm gonna miss is you.
Through Friends, Matthew Perry left his mark on pop culture. And despite battling his own demons, he provided joy and laughs for all who worked with him, watched him, and loved him. Rest easy, Matthew. And good night, everyone.
You just have to basically throw yourself into the work and keep a good head about it.
This is harder than I thought it would be.
It's gonna be okay. It really feels like home. Like we'll never have that again. Like I'll never have that again. And we keep reminding each other, like, remember this, because we're not gonna find this again.
If one of us bumped into each other, that was it. That was the end of the night. You just
Sat with that
sat with the person. You apologized to the people you were with, but they had to understand you had met somebody special to you, and you were gonna talk to that person for the rest of the night.
I would like to be remembered as somebody who lived well, loved well, and his paramount thing is that he wants to help people. That's what I want.